Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to go through how my team did in round 8 for A+ SuperCoach for 2026. Let's get into it. So round 8 was a bit of a disappointing round. As you saw by the thumbnail, I screwed up the captaincy and it resulted in me only getting a score of 2,136. And as you can see by these two red arrows here, I dropped down the ranks a little bit. But it's not as bad as it could have been. So as I said, 2,136. Now I was ranked 44,438th for the round. Got a total score of 16,440, ranked top 15% still. And I only dropped about 1,000 rankings, which isn't too bad. I think around about this time in the season, things start to stable out. So you stop moving up by tens of thousands. But I think given the round, this is not too bad. And let's actually have a look at the team in more detail. So starting from the defenders, our trade-in, Lockie Whitfield, did amazing. 117, this is exactly where we want him to get. But up against Gold Coast, he's now gotten 5 tons in a row. Got Essendon and West Coast, which he should score really well. Very happy with this. Jack Sinclair has not been himself lately, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, ever since that 82, he got 119 against Adelaide at Gather Round, I believe it was. And then West Coast and Carlton, he only managed to get 90s, which I'm going to say he was lucky to get those 90s because they could have been a lot worse. But these are teams he should be going 110 against. And I think that was quite disappointing from Jack Sinclair. Jordan Clark, man, I feel really bad for those people who brought him in after his 146 against West Coast. There was 5.2%. I said it last round. I'm going to say it again. I really feel bad for you guys because you got sold the dream and then you got given 80s, basically. It's a hard own. He should come back. I mean, Essendon will be a good matchup. Saints is always good for halfbackers. It's just the rise of Luke Ryan, again, is really affecting him. And I think after this season, if he can't manage to get his average over 100, I think he's going to be on my never again list. But I don't think he's one I can trade out. I think I just have to stick with him. I am comforted by the fact that I haven't traded him in. I started him, but it still hurts. I did start him over Andy Brayshaw, which that would have been a lot worse. Josh Lindsay didn't really back up his 132 score against Richmond, which there was jokes about a lot of people actually captaining him, which would have been a really, really ballsy decision and in hindsight, stupid decision because he got a 70. He's not going to be chucking out 132s every round. I think this game was just an anomaly because the ball was in their back half so much of the time because of St Kilda's massive win. So I think he might do better against blowouts instead of against weaker opponents. I think he's got one more round left in him of substantial cash gen. And then even if he scores an 80, his break even rises back up to 79. So he might only be a hold for one more round. Jacob Farrow might be a hold for 0 more rounds because a 53, he just hasn't been himself since the 102. Got him in at 163. He's made about 150k. He's made 143k actually, and I'm happy with that. I got him in for the 102, but I think I might be getting him out. Redmond's coming back in. Does that affect Farrow's role? Does it also affect Archie Roberts' role? We have to wait and see. Tom Myers came back, was a late in for George Wardlaw, who's out with sickness. He scored a 59, just a typical score from him now. We're removed of the 70s, 75s from him. I think we're all just hoping he plays to generate a bit more cash because a break even at 57, he's still got some cash to make, and he could be one we get rid of instead of the likes of a Farrow or a Grill, who we'll touch on later. But it's just he's got a lot less cash on him, and he might come back. He might still play. Selwood, still teetering along. A 59 is a bit less than what he's gotten recently. Hopefully he can get back up to that 70 scores. I'm not sure how much he is affected by Jed Busslinger because I didn't really watch that Freo game. I was watching the showdown, which was amazing, and we'll touch on a couple of those stars later. But yeah, he's a definite hold. A 59. Hopefully that was a down game against a good opponent. And if you look at the next opponents for him, and this also applies for Jed Busslinger for those who are looking to bring him in, you've got Port, you've got Carlton, you've got Melbourne, and you've got Collingwood. None of those forward lines really jump off the page. I mean, Melbourne have Myercheck and Van Rooyen. Collingwood have Membry and Jack Buller. Carlton have Harry Mackay, but he's not that good. Port, I don't know who they have. They could have anyone. I mean, they've got Mitch Georgiades, but all four of which are weak backlines. And hopefully Michael Selwood can capitalize on them. And for those who bring in Jed Busslinger, you would also be hoping that. Flynn Perez is dead. Moving on to the midfield, Zach Butters, a 117. It was a pretty decent game. He continues that streak of tons. I think he's just been extremely consistent, and that's just what we want to see from him. Nick Dacos for the last couple of rounds has also been consistent, but he's only been getting low 100s, which is a bit disappointing. He's going to drop down to around about 570k, assuming he gets tagged in both of these matches, which I think is a fair assumption, actually, because a lot of these premiums that we got in at really expensive prices, like Bontempelli, Max Gawn, and Nick Dacos, if you traded him in, they're all coming back down. And I'll use this just to touch on Marcus Bontempelli. It was a good game from him. I didn't take the VC. I don't think you can call me an idiot this time because a 118 VC is not jumping off this page, especially when you had Naz against Carlton, who he should have beat up against. I switched off Jackson last minute, and we'll touch on Jackson a bit later, but that was a good game from him. And a decent segue in terms of talking about captaincies, Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. You would have seen by the thumbnail, he was my captain this round. Oh my God, for the second round in a row, we just have a subpar captain, and it really hurts us. If I had Jackson and I didn't captain Naz and I VC Jackson and I took the score with ZZ, I might still be in SuperCoach Cup, and we'll touch on that because that was just disappointing. But it's just a horrible score. Tanner Bruin, another subpar score, but I was expecting it. He was always going to not put up an as good score. Actually, I was expecting the price drop, not the 70 against North. That's disappointing. Got a couple good matchups. Not really sure how much longer we can hold him. Might be a trade out this round. Might be a trade out next round. But we'll wait and see. Someone who is a trade out this round, Sam Grill. He's gone. I wasn't watching a Richmond West Coast game because, let's be honest, who wants to watch that? But I'll bring up footy scores so I don't sound like an idiot, springing out facts that might be completely wrong. If we look at Sam Grill, all the way down the bottom here, 74% TOG, 67% disposal efficiency, 3 clangers, not nice. Only 9 touches, which hurt. Heat map, I mean, there's not really much touches to show on the heat map. And if we look at the CBAs, he is absent. So I think it was just a lot of cardio from Sam Grill. Sam Cumming, though, I think 74% time on ground. We'll touch on him when I go over my trade thoughts a bit. Sam Cumming could be a good rookie, but Sam Grill, he's gone. He's dead. Milan Murdoch, he for someone who we thought might be a keeper in the forward line, it's not looking good because this Richmond matchup was the matchup. He was supposed to go back to the 100s, but he hasn't. And I'll bring this up again. If we look at the CBAs, he's only attended 2 CBAs. You look at his heat map. I mean, it looks like a bit more wing. Again, I didn't watch the game, so if you did in the comments, comment down below what position he played, because this looks like wing, and wing is inconsistent. And so hopefully we could see a bounce back score from him. But for someone who we all hoped would get up to 400k and be a keeper. He's got a break even of 41, and if he puts out another 60 score, he might not make it to 320k, which is really disappointing. Paddy Rechko, someone who wasn't disappointing. He's played 3 easy opponents, but he's got an average of 70. And with Richmond and their horrific injury list, which we will touch on tomorrow when we look at my final trades and injuries, I don't think he gets dropped. I don't think anyone gets dropped from Richmond, honestly. They've got 3 players, AFL-listed players, playing VFL. It's really bad. It's Essendon last year level things. And Rechko hopefully can thrive in that environment. Hopefully he can get us up to 300k, maybe even a bit more. And it should be good for mid-season draftees, which we will also touch on in the trades video tomorrow and maybe a bit today. Mateus Philippou, this is the last time I'm having this guy not on field. In fact, I'll even put him on field now. An 80 score. And if we look at his stat line, no, my name Miller, bloody hell. Mateus Philippou, we look all the way over to the right, 87% TOG. It's finally happening. He's getting game time. He's had no game time for so long. DFS Australia, very good website for stats. If we look at the poo, not Jevon Philippou, but Mateus Philippou, and we scroll down, we look at his TOG. Since the start of the season, it was 76, 43, 57, 60, 65, 63, 63, 87. 87. He's getting time. He started on field this time. Is the poo back? I think he is. He's completely reset his price cycle. He's got an 80. He's got an 80 projected, a zero break even, and he's got Richmond in 2 days. The poo is back. Hopefully he can get up to 350k, and it's actually not that hard to, because Gold Coast is a good matchup for mids, which Philippou is now. We'll have a look at the CBAs. He's only 3, so I did watch this match. I wasn't really looking at Philippou, but and this is also no goals as well, so I think he's just sort of playing that wing role. Gold Coast should be good for that. TIO Stadium, don't know, but Philippou's back. Someone who's not back is Sardis, because he got bloody dropped. And, like, Brad Scott, what are you doing? He gets dropped. They deservedly got whooped by Brisbane. And Jai Caldwell is now out. Does Sardis come back in? I think Sardis has to come back in. They looked really bad. And the scoreline shows that. I just really hope that Sullivan Roby and Dyson Sharp haven't leapfrogged Sardis in the pecking order. I hope they can still play him. Even if they play him at like a half forward or a wing or something like that. Just have him play. Put him in full back for all I care over Ben Mackay. I'm sure a lot of Essendon fans would want that. But Gresham, Tondigiannis, Pryor, I think, maybe Sardell Howley, Archie Day Wicks, maybe. I think all these guys are guys that should be dropped or should be behind Sardis. I think Sardis is just... He was finally having his breakout and you drop him. Brad Scott, what are you doing? Angus Anderson, it was just a tough game for him. I think he didn't look bad. I actually saw him quite a lot during the course of the game. 7 clangers, 5 free kicks against. That's not going to happen every week. He didn't get too many touches, but I think he just got really unlucky. He got 53% CBAs as well, so the role looks there. I think this is the game that Pendles is going to come back for. So I'm not worried about Angus Anderson. This will be a blip. It'll hurt his immediate cash gen. He'll go 28 break even. Then a 73 will roll out. Hopefully he can replenish that. Might go up to 50s or 60s. Or there and there, that and there around. And then he's got West Coast. Hopefully he does well against there, but I don't think he's going to get dropped. I think they need that other midfielder, and I think Angus Anderson might be their guy. So onto the ruck line. Luke Jackson was going to captain him, or was going to vice captain him. Didn't, and now I regret it. And I don't think I'm going to vice captain him this round, and I think I'm going to regret it because he has been amazing. I mean, trading him in after that 142, I mean, it's something I should have done a lot more often this season because a lot of times players have scored a big score, then backed it up. I think Heaney with, I think, the 156, backed it up with a 200. There's a lot of examples. I'm not going to list them all now. But yeah, brought him in, 113, 108. I was like, 126, 125, 125, 147, 143. He's gonna rock it up in price. If you don't have him, I mean, he's 640. I would, at this point in the season, I wouldn't, but that's because I already have him. I wouldn't begrudge you for going there. I think it is a very good move. Max Gawn, the 169 break even, but he's up against West Coast. Is he losing that ruck role? I think he might be, because if you look at where is the game? If you look at it here, the CBAs look dire. 48%. He didn't even get the most for the ruckman. Max Heath, he's really pushing him out of that spot. But still got 18 touches. Only got 1 tackle, which I think ruckman definitely can get a lot more. 2 goals, though, but negative 22 scaling. I think negative 22 scaling is something that, of course, is game dependent. You do a lot better than that. He was up against one of the best rucks in the competition. I just hope against a ruck line like this, they'll let Gawn be himself. Maybe they were sheltering Gawn from Grundy a bit as he ages. Maybe that'll happen again here. I think this is the last season I'm going to own him. He's had a good career. I'm not sure it'll last that much longer. ZZ isn't playing, but there are rumors that he might, so be careful and plan accordingly if you plan to VC Luke Jackson or a Brisbane. You can't do that with a Brisbane player. But yeah, just plan accordingly. Make sure you don't get caught undone like make sure you don't get caught undone like a bunch of people did a couple rounds ago. Going to the forward line, Harry Sheezel, he continues through this tough run. It was always not going to be well against Bedford, Mullen, and James Jordan. He'll come out of it and he'll go well across the buys. This run right here will be really good. You want to make sure you have him if you don't already. 20% of people don't have him. I think 20% of are dead accounts because it's not changing, and you'd think after these scores it'll increase, but it's not. But Harry Sheezel, he'll be back. He's just in a rut. Christian Petrarca, he's finally gotten back to his old self, looking really, really impactful. Against a Giants midfield who you thought might tag him, but they didn't tag him, I don't think. I'm not sure if Toby Bedford tagged anyone, actually. I didn't really see him applying that much attention to anyone, but a very good score from Track. What I think we should be expecting from him as more of a ceiling score. Cozzy Pickett, it was a tough matchup. It was a tough game. I think he copped attention. I'm not sure how much because I didn't really watch the game until like the last 2 minutes when I saw it was close again. But yeah, I mean, no one really expected him to score that well against Sydney. And 113 from a forward primo is very good. Took Miller. I think this is either back-to-back tons or 2 tons in 3 weeks. It's 2 tons in 3 weeks. Could have had Holmes, man. There's 30K to Holmes. I didn't go there. I have to live with my mistake. Took Miller, I think, should still be a keeper. I think he still has the potential to average 104 and score these tons. Someone who I'm less sure about is Sam Flanders. It's looking bad. It really is. Should have done well here. Should have done well here. Didn't. I think this Richmond game will really be big for him. If he doesn't ton, I think he's gone. 100%. He's not primo anymore. A lot of people have given up hope. I'm still holding out. I remember how good he was in 2024. I'm hoping he can stay there, but it's looking grim for Sam Flanders. It's not looking grim for Braden. It's not looking grim for Braden Cook though, because what a bloody goal! That was amazing. I was watching the game watching the live stream with Joe from the Centre Bounce. Was amazing. Like Joe Berry kicks that goal, you think it's over, it's done. Adelaide have gotten robbed with that Wayne Milliera goal, and then Braden Cook kicks the goal, gets like 20 points from it. Amazing. Very good score. To think I almost didn't trade this guy in. I almost didn't trade him in. It was like, I think, back here against Carlton. Then I did last second, was regretting it because he scored like 10 in the first half. Then he gets a 99, a 72, and a 94. Goes from 275 all the way up. And actually, no, I don't think I traded him in there. I was going to trade him out, and then I didn't. And I held the faith. And he's just been amazing. Braden Cook hopefully can touch 400k with that Richmond matchup. Very well could. And I'm all here for it if he can. Todd Marshall. I'm not sure what to make of Todd Marshall because when he's played, he's done well. But when he's come back, he hasn't done well. He came back, I think, from an injury against St Kilda. Didn't do well. Then the next game against Hawks does well. Comes back from injury against Adelaide. Doesn't do well. Comes back against the Dogs or plays against the Dogs. Made it well. Like, it's either a 40 or it's a 75 from him. And I'm hoping for another 75. I think he should get there. I think he is a quality player. Apparently 1,500 people don't. And so I'm going to hold him, of course, because he doesn't really have any trade value. And then Leo Lombard. We finally got a good score from him. He was trudging along with 45s and 50s against the Giants. Got a 66. Looked amazing in that game. There were so many moments where he just charged into a pack, grabbed the ball, wouldn't be able to do anything with the ball, but at least he got the ball. And I think as he matures, this kid's going to be a ripping footy player. Just got a lot of the ball. 17 touches, 13 handballs, 71% efficiency. Was left a bit to be desired. Didn't get a goal as well. Got a score assist, but I think, very good from Lombard. I mean, I think in my spreadsheet 2 weeks ago, I think I showed you guys that. I had him getting up to this 225k. He's going to eclipse that. Hopefully he gets to 250k. Do I even flip him at that point? Do I have other rookies that I could flip for more? Don't know, but very happy with the Lombard score. And also very happy with the McAndrew score because a lot of people were trading him out. A lot of people did trade him out. If we look at selections, it dropped by about 30k, which I believe is 1.5% of the competition. Oh no, 15% actually. I did my math wrong there. 15% of the competition, I think, traded him out. Drops a 91. Could have been a lot more. Could have been a heck of a lot more. I think he lost a bit to scaling, but 22, 24, 22, 23. I mean, Sam Berry took a lot of the points because he got 19 tackles, which is 13 more than the next Crow. Amazing from him. And I think a lot of people actually brought him in, and it ruined a lot of, I think, creators' SuperCoach Cup matchups. But back to Lachlan McAndrew. Very good score. Showed us why we kept him. He is a number one ruck. He will be going up against God knows who for Richmond. And I reckon in a couple of weeks, once he maxes out in cash, hopefully, a good score against Richmond and then potentially a subpar score against Sherry. And then I think I get him out. I'm going to plan to get in, I think, Brody Grundy soon. But you'll see that all tomorrow when I will show you guys my spreadsheet and how it's updated. And that's the team. I think preliminary trade plans, and again, I'll go into my trade plans a lot more tomorrow. Sam Grill out, Jacob Farrow out, Wang Malira to the defense, And then I'm going to be going the double downgrade, grabbing Sam Cumming and Tom Burton. I'm not as confident on Tom Burton. I don't know who he is. I didn't watch the game. But a 64 is good. And Richmond have no one. They have no one. And I will actually bring up their injury list right now, just to show you how little they have. And again, yeah, as I said before, we'll go through all this tomorrow. But we go up to Richmond. Look how big this is. And they're all key players. Like Jasper Alga, not sure about him. Harry Armstrong is a decent rookie. Sam Banks, Taj Houghton, Sam Lawler, Ryan Mansell, Toby Nankova is still 3 weeks out. Dion Prestia, Josh Smiley, Tim Taranto. Tim Taranto coming back in might affect him. And if that happens, I will probably get in Finn Callahan this round and then just go Liam Henry next round. Because the reason I'm double downgrading is I'm not sure about the rookies. And we'll actually just lock this in for now. I just optimize it. And if we go to players, filter those low in price, not below 200, because I will still want to include Jed Bussler in here. If we look at played, we scroll down to 1. These are the rookies for next round. Isaac Killer, probably not. Nick Caulfield, too expensive. Liam O'Connell, too expensive. Liam Henry, though, is 88. He's, I think, supremely talented. Been a bit injury affected these last couple weeks, or these last couple of years, actually, which is why he's at this lower price. And I think could be a similar rookie to the likes of an Artie Jones, except for the fact that he plays wing. And we know wingers can score really well. We saw it with Harry Sharp. Oh, no, not Harry Sharp. Jeremy Sharp 2 years ago. It was a winger who got basically up to 400k. And he is sort of this winger half forward, like Murphy Reed-esque, not as talented, but could be a good rookie. But I'm not sold on him yet. And I think, especially where I'm at with my low price, I think I need it. I think every dollar counts, which is why I'm getting in Tom Burton initially. This is my preliminary trade plans. If they change, then they change. But yeah, this is about it. I think captains, don't know. Probably will go Jackson actually for the VC. Gonna go Gorn for the C. I back him up against the West Coast Eagles. And I think a lot of people aren't going to do it. And I think those who do will be rewarded. And so I'll leave it at that. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below. What are your trade thoughts? How did you do this round? And with that, we will see you in the next one. Happy coaching.